Morning everybody, it's Rob, Yoga Dad. Really great to see you again for another of these morning great big stretch classes that I'm offering on Facebook Live over the next few weeks. This week the theme is courage, and so for those that joined me yesterday, we went through a sequence that focused on how we could kind of understand more about the way we can show courage in our everyday lives, whether that's asking for help, maybe saying no to something, sharing our worries, or even practicing a morning stretch in the morning, that type of thing. Now, of course, for many of us this week, particularly those of us that have got children, will have children potentially going back to school, and teachers obviously going back into schools as well, and people getting used to, families getting used to a new way of life, or the old way of life but in a new way. And so for those people, they're showing a lot of courage this week. So just taking a moment just to think about them, and thinking about the ways in which we can kind of be courageous in our own lives, even if we're not having children going back to school this week. In terms of today's practice, we're going to be primarily laying. We're then going to come up into kind of this kind of position, so our knees lifted, feet flat down on the floor. And the way in which we'll look to be courageous is one, to just really experience some of the feelings and sensations we experience in the body as we move around, the way in which we can use the breath to really help us feel and unlock some of those emotions in a way that's really positive to us, but also looking at the way in which we can kind of test our balance and being, aware of the fact that we could topple backwards or forwards, but being happy and comfortable around the fact that we're in a safe space and we shouldn't cause any injury to ourselves. Okay, so without further ado, let's get started. So we're going to start laying on our backs. Just adjust myself. Well, as we lie down on the floor this morning, just settle yourself down, adjusting yourself, allowing yourself about 30 seconds wriggle time, just to find yourself in a comfortable position. And as you settle down, back body resting down towards the floor, just bringing yourself into this space this morning. As you close your eyes, just tuning into any sounds that you can hear around you, acknowledging that they're there, but not necessarily holding on to those sounds, just allowing them to pass by. And I'm really feeling the contact of the back of the body all the way along the floor. So from the back of the head, tracing a line along the body and down towards the heels. And really allowing the feet just to separating away as though you're opening a book, opening up your body this morning to understand its inner strength and the opportunity that that then presents. Now just turning the toes back in, so pointing up towards the ceiling and just opening the eyes and just keeping the feet hip distance apart. So we're going to lift our right foot up and lift our right knee now in towards the upper body, so up towards the right shoulder, and really feel as though the right thigh is reaching down towards the upper body. We're going to clasp our hands and bring them around our right shin and just gently apply pressure onto that right shin. And as we do so, what we'll find is that the right thigh just starts resting down now more towards the upper body. It's not necessarily the case that it needs to find contact there. And what we want to be feeling here is that stretch all the way along the back of the leg, the right bum cheek. And as we clasp our hands across the right shin, just feeling the elbows drawing in, tucking in towards the ribs, just to create that little bit more space across the chest and the shoulders. Now with the left leg, we still want to keep that active in this position. So really pressing away with the left heel now, down towards the opposite side of the room, and really feeling that left thigh grounding down towards the floor beneath you. So you've kind of got the opposing force here of the pressure that you're applying on the right shin that's lifting the right knee up towards the head, and the left heel reaching away in the opposite direction. You may well feel a stretch now along the inside of the left leg. Now taking the hands away from that right shin and bringing the left foot alongside the right. So both knees are now bent. Lifting the right foot up towards the ceiling now. And clasping the hands now around the back of the right thigh. Now as you do so, immediately feel as though you're grounding down through the floor. So really feel that connection of the tailbone sinking down towards the floor as you press away again with the right heel. So imagining, as we just did with the left heel, pressing away, we're now pressing away with the right heel, almost as though we're walking on the ceiling. And as we do so, and as you can see, my right toes are pointing towards my right shin. And that helps to extend, lengthen, and just invite that kind of sensation along the back of the right leg. So the opportunity to be courageous here is just to see how far you can take yourself as you extend that right leg up towards the ceiling. Now, if you need to, introduce a subtle bend in the right knee, just to ease any tension that feels too strong along the back of the right leg. Otherwise, gentle pressure through the palms, across that right thigh, and just lifting that right foot up towards the ceiling. Now, taking this a step further, and it's up to you whether you follow this, extending that left leg out. And as you do so, you might find that right leg lowers down that little bit further towards the floor. But it can feel that much stronger, and the sensations there can be far more apparent. Again, bending that left knee again, lifting that right foot up. And we'll just start rotating our right ankle. So almost imagining we're drawing circles across the ceiling with our toes in one direction, and then the other. And then pointing the toes up, extending along the front of the right foot. And then toes back towards the shin again, right heel up towards the ceiling, sensation along the back of the right leg. Now we take the hands away from the right leg and we cross our right ankle across the left thigh. And as we do so, we're now opening up across the right hip. We're also looking at that opening along the inside of the right thigh. Now, option here is to stay with the left foot grounding down towards the floor and just taking the right palm and just pressing it in to the inside of the right knee. And as you do so, you may feel that opening up across the right side, the right hip. Now, option here, clasp the hands again, lifting the left foot up this time and clasping the hands either to the side of the left thigh or round the back. And if you're doing this class in your own time, you could always use a strap, both for the previous pose that we did with the hamstring stretch, but also for this one as well, where you bind the strap around the back of the left thigh, and it will just help keep the chest and the shoulders down towards the floor, maximise that space for the breath to really enable you to deepen into this stretch. Keeping the chin tucked in towards the chest, lengthen along the back of the neck, and just gently pressing away with the right knee, just to really open up along the right side of the hip. And slowly taking the left foot down, right foot alongside the left, and we extend the legs out. And extend the arms out now overhead, and really feeling that great big stretch. Fingertips all the way back towards the toes. And then we lift the left leg up. So left knee up towards the upper body this time. Clasped hands around the left shin. And really feeling the body now sinking down again towards the floor. And the left thigh in towards the upper body as the right heel reaches away. And just tuning into those sensations you're experiencing in the body. Any aches or tension this morning. And just being brave, courageous, as you work towards your own limits. Inviting that challenge into the body. Acknowledging any feelings and sensations, and then easing off it becomes uncomfortable or any sharp pain at all. And taking the hands now away from the left shin, left foot up alongside the right, both knees bent, left foot now up towards the ceiling, pressing away with the left heel, clasped hands now around the back of the left leg, chin tucked in towards the chest, and again, now feeling that sensation all the way along from the hip down towards or up towards the heel. It presses up towards the ceiling, toes pointing in towards the left shin. And again, option here to straighten out the right leg, so laying that along the ground. And again, you might find that that left leg lowers down that little bit further. And if this feels too strong at all, then feel free just to bend that right knee and lifting that left foot up. And rotate around the ankle again. This time on the left side, drawing that imaginary circle across the ceiling with the toes in one direction, and then the other. Pointing the toes up towards the ceiling, feeling the stretch along the front of the left foot. Toes towards the shin, sensation along the back of the left leg. And then taking the hands away from the back of the left thigh and crossing now the left ankle across the right thigh. Again, as before, the option here is just to stay in this position with the right foot down towards the floor. Pressing the left palm now against the inside of the left knee, feeling that opening across the left hip, inner thigh on the left side, or option to take the hands either to the sides of the right thigh or clasped around the back, lifting that right foot up, and just now allowing that left hip to open towards the left hand side as the right thigh, right knee reaches in towards the upper body. This is the kind of pose that you can also do in a seated position. In fact, there's many variations to this one. You could just sit there on a chair, having one ankle crossed over the opposite thigh, hands towards either side of the chair, and just using the upper body weight to lean forward and deepen into the stretch. Now lowering that right foot down, left foot alongside the right, and now comes the fun bit. We're going to take our hands around the back of the thighs, and we're going to rock ourselves backwards and forwards a few times until we've got enough momentum to bring ourselves up into a seated position. But as I said, we're going to have our knees, well, I'll just turn around to the front just for a moment. So I've got my knees hip distance apart, feet hip distance apart. And what we're going to do is cross our forearms over our shins and just allow our head just to fall down between the knees, between the thighs. And as we do so, just taking a moment just to really feel that length now all the way along the back body. And allowing the upper body just to, or the front of the upper body just to sink forward towards the thighs. And next time you breathe in through the nose. And as you breathe out, just purse the lips, almost imagining you're blowing down through a straw as you're directing the breath between the legs. I'm really feeling that space that you're now creating along the back body, inviting the breath along the full length of the spine. Now lifting the head up, still keeping our knees bent. And we're going to take our hands now around the knees, so either knee. And slowly tilt ourselves backwards, chin tucked in ever so slightly towards the chest, keeping the spine nice and long, chest forward, shoulder blades in towards one another, extending the arms out, and we're going to inhale as we lift forward, keeping the elbows tucked in towards the side of the legs, and exhaling back. So chin to chest, arching, rounding the spine back, tailbone tucking under. So this is the same as the cat-cow variations we've done in chairs and on the floor over the past couple of weeks, but we're doing this in a seated variation. Now just taking yourself back to a point at which you feel is comfortable to you. You might find that the feet just lift ever so subtly off the floor, and just playing with the balance that this then provides. We're really feeling the belly button drawing into the spine as you engage the abdominal muscles. And we'll do that one more time. Now bring yourself back to a neutral position. Hands now around the back of the thighs again. And we're going to just lift ourselves, so lift our heels up and just allowing our toes just to stay pointed down towards the floor. Take a big inhale. Next time we exhale, we lift our right leg up. Inhaling back down. And we do the same with the left leg. We do that a couple more times on either side. Exhaling to lift, inhaling to lower. And still keeping that length along the spine. Chest nice and open. And feeling those abdominal muscles engaging. Now you can either continue with that or option to now take the arms out either side. Lifting one leg up. Back down. Other leg up. Back down. Back to the right side, back down. Once more on this side, and then final progression, lifting both feet up at the same time as you tilt back and maybe even extending the legs out. Embrace the shakes, embrace the wobbles, maybe even fall backwards. Slowly lowering the feet back down again. Whoa, that feels strong. Taking the arms out in front now, thumbs up towards the ceiling. Chin tucked in towards the chest as you slowly lower the spine back down, one vertebrae at a time. And then taking yourself back into that laying position again that we started in. Palms alongside the hips. And just settling back down, sinking back down towards the floor. And just seeing how that feels or felt for the body. And the breath and the mind compared to when you started this morning stretch. And as you close your eyes, just asking yourself how you have been brave, courageous in this practice this morning stretch this morning. What have you learnt that was something new? Maybe the way in which you acknowledge worries, fears, anxieties, as you do something that's maybe unfamiliar to you, but really progress as a result. And being proud of that. Being proud of that time you've taken out to be courageous this morning. In this safe space, this safe virtual space that we've got together. Just enjoying this opportunity just to lay still, in body and mind for these few moments, and preparing yourself for the day ahead. Nice soft gaze, opening the eyes. Thank you for joining me this morning. I'm just going to roll onto one side, sit myself back up into a cross-legged position. Thank you for joining me this morning. Really hope you've enjoyed the class. This morning stretch today, all about courage. And just a task for you, a challenge for you for the day ahead. If you've got the time, just spare a minute. Just thinking about what you want to achieve today. Set out some actions, tasks that you've got coming up. And just think about the ways in which you're going to be brave and courageous. Potentially. And get to the end of the day and look back on that. Maybe think about it, reflect on it tomorrow morning when we come back to stretch again. Otherwise, have an awesome day and I look forward to seeing you tomorrow. Namaste.